Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the Mind of Ivry podcast. And before I really get into today's topic, I just want to say I understand we're in the final moments of this election, and I understand that everybody's voices wants to be heard, and the things that have been holding us back or seem to not be in our favor for every individual that's wanting to see a change or see a better way of life. I understand that that's what's going to go into the voting process when most people go and place their ballots. But I just want people to understand that, you can't make every decision off of emotion. You have to make sure that, you're logical with what you're doing as well. Because, looking at something for one benefit when there could be something that could benefit not only yourself but the others around you is what's important too. I know that it's about thinking of yourself and your family first because that's what is directly gonna affect you. But you also gotta understand everybody else is thinking the same thing. But then you have those who feel like I want to make the best decision for not just myself but everybody else that's included. So just remember that, and I hope that there's not whole bunch of chaos and a whole bunch of, you know, fighting amongst us because this year alone has shown that, no matter how much we go back and forth with each other, there is things out there from nature to just different symptoms that can just change the dynamic of the world. And so it overtakes everything and engulfs us in different, emotions and a different mindset to try to make it day to day. But that's just my peace of mind. I'm not always right on everything, and I'm not always wrong. I'm somewhere in the middle, just trying to make the best decision for myself as well, but also be able to put something out that can help the next person. So, that's just what I wanted to talk on since, I understand that the election is almost complete. So I wanted to make sure I put that in there. But for today's topic, I want to talk about replacements. I want to talk about when you are with somebody and you feel like in your own mind that that person reminds you of somebody that you really had strong feelings for. And if that person would have changed a few things about themselves, y'all could have possibly worked. And a lot of times we get in that situation to where we may have a particular type of person that we like. So we sometimes continue to go after that type of person, but who they are and their personality doesn't really match up with yours. So you always seem to, you know, have it go full circle to where it starts one way and then it ends totally different. And one thing I wanted to bring out about that is when you build a person up to be a better version of what you once had, now, what you're expecting of them is going to be much more. At the same time, you have to make sure that you keeping up, your end of the deal as well because the action that you want also come with the reaction, and that person wants to see that if they're showing you what you need to be shown, that you're able to also do the same for them. It can't be one-sided, or it can't be, it shouldn't be where you were done wrong in the past, so now everybody else has to pay for that. And a lot of people put people through that because they want to be shown that, hey, you're going to prove to me what you're about first before I even show you who I really am. And if I'm getting into a relationship, I don't want to meet your representative, and then when I see who you really are, I'm more intrigued by who your representative is, and that's the person that I expected to see myself with because that's why I feel like the best version of you are. And we sometimes just get stuck to where because we put this person on the pedestal, everybody else that knows the person through us, we feel like, we're gonna look crazy because now everybody's gonna think that, oh, this was just some type of ploy to put yourself back in a certain light because somebody else, another friend, might have made you feel a certain way about their relationship. Not even that they was bragging on it or making you feel insecure, but because you're used to being the person that has the spotlight on you or being the person that everybody goes to when it comes to maintain a relationship or just advice. Now you feel like you have to kind of counter that so that people don't think you started to kind of slip or you're not really where you're usually at. And having a replacement, you know, what you had with that original person is never going to be the same that you had with the person that you could be currently rent right now, or the one that you so-called maybe just renting out, or they're just a bookmark in your book that you wait until the next chapter comes, and then it may be somebody else that gets inserted as the main character. So those are a lot of different things that sometimes can happen when you want a better version of what you once had. And sometimes, when you feel love for a person or you're in love with a person, you'll let certain things go because you feel like there may be things about yourself that they're willing to either look past or work with you with. So you feel the need to just let what they want to do just happen. And then if it's not something that is really constricting the relationship or y'all moving forward, then you just let them kind of figure it out in their own time. But to be honest, in my own opinion, you have to be somewhat just cutthroat from the beginning. And it may sound harsh. It may sound like, you know, I'm just thinking about what's best for my own interests. But you have to be that way. You have to make sure that, from the first couple initial meetings, that you ask certain questions to see what a person is on. Because if they look similar to the person you used to be with, or they have certain mannerisms, or they have certain character traits that brought you into that person, or made that person seem like, okay, there could be potential, you're gonna let things cloud your judgment because you may still want that person that you either gave up on or it just didn't work out. So now in the back of your mind, because you feel like you got a second chance with somebody that reminds you of who you really cared about or was with, now you're willing to kind of let things just happen. And you don't want to be that way because when you're like that, you're going to notice how things will be as good as you pretend them to be. So even if you know in the back of your mind it's not where you want to be at, but you tell yourself that it's gonna get better when you don't really see no improvements, you're just only leading yourself, into quicksand, and then you just end up sinking and sinking the longer you go in the relationship. And you can find yourself end up being great friends with that person. Y'all can be confidants, just and with your walk of life, and if things don't really work out the way you want it to be, but it's best to be honest from the jump, because it's easy to find somebody that you feel uh, will make you feel whole again, and then you just hold on to that person because you don't want to be alone or you don't want to start over. But it's better to start over 10 times than stick with a person for 10 years or more, knowing that you're never going to go as far as you feel like you should or what you deserve. And just settling because it's comfortable or because financially it's going to benefit you. In the long run you may be helping yourself in at certain degrees and certain aspects, but overall your heart may be the one that takes the most from that, because maybe mentally you're not really getting fulfilled the way you want to, because physical emotions or lust, it can always be there. You can find ways to be sustained, and then that may keep you alone for a decent amount of time. But if you're not mentally fulfilled, that person, no matter how much they remind you of your first love, or the person that really made you come out your shell or show you that you can be better than what you put out there to be, that's not going to exist. The opportunity is going to be gone. So, and that's why I really wanted to touch on replacements, and then also understanding your worth. It's okay to be single. It's okay to work on yourself for a while and to understand what you did wrong in your past relationships or relations with friends or anything like that before you start to try to make bring new people into your life. Because, and even on the friend aspect, a new friend could also turn out to be a new enemy. So you have to make sure that you understand what that person is on and what they're bringing to the table. Are they a hindrance or are they helping you? So you just want to make sure that you understand what line they're on, because they're gonna, if they're the right type of person, they're gonna make sure that when they talk to you or they're around you, they're gonna pick up on certain things. And if they feel like you have a certain way about yourself that rubs them the wrong way, hopefully they'll be able to tell you, right on the spot instead of letting things build up and then have that ammunition to carry on and use when they want to guilt trip you or make it seem like you really haven't been the person that they applauded you to be. So those are just different things that I really wanted to touch on. I don't want to stay here too long because I know a lot of people attention is going to be directed into the election and everything that's surrounding that. But I just wanted to just say from personal experiences that just make sure when you making decisions, when it's coming to voting, when it comes into choosing jobs, when it comes to figuring out where you want to stay at, what's best for your family. I always understand that you don't want something that's you feel like is recycled. You don't want to try something over and over again that you've seen that doesn't work or is going to benefit you in the right way. And that was my whole reason for deciding to talk on replacements today because I just felt like, I wanted to go into how it's critical to not be enamored by, what is familiar, but being able to be comfortable in what's sometimes uncomfortable because that's going to show you how strong you really are and what you can really achieve. Because if you're able to, do the same level over and over again, for yourself that you can be great at that stage, but then if you want to get to another stage in your life and have better, then you have to be willing to understand it might come with sacrifices, it might come with learning more about yourself, but that's what it is. We live in critical times, so you have to make the right decisions, so that way you won't stay in a situation that you're not able to be the best version of yourself, and that's what we all should strive for. And I also want to touch on before I close about this chain right here, Elite. You know, I always want to wear something or represent things that I feel are impactful or mean something to me. So for Elite, the initials for that stand for elevate, love, inspire, teach, and encourage. And I had recently just made a video I put on all my social media platforms. But just to touch on that, in spite of everything that's going on right now, we have to find a way to elevate ourselves, love ourselves, and love those around us. Be able to inspire and, the best way we can to teach from the knowledge that we obtain and then encourage. For those who may be going through it, they don't have an outlet or somebody to really be there for them. You could be that person for them. So you just never understand the impact you can have. So I hope that everybody stays blessed and you stay safe out there and you make sure that the decisions you make, understand how it's going to affect you, your family, and those around you. So because this is a critical time, not just with the election or the changing of the guard, but what's going on in the atmosphere. The world is changing, just on all different fronts. So, just make sure if you believe in prayer, you pray. If you have faith, if you are somebody that likes to fellowship with other people, just, if you watch motivational videos, continue watching that. Just do things that make you feel good inside or, just a way for you to get into that space that you can either create or help, to build on to something else that's, positive to put out into the world. I know we have this pull and with the negative and positive in the world, and it's always going to be that way no matter what. But I just hope and pray that, the positive, wins more of the battle than the negative, you know. But with that being said, I just like to say again, this has been another edition of the Mind of Ivy podcast. Y'all, everybody out there that hear my voice, stay blessed, stay safe. Peace.